Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you used the Pythagorean theorem in real life? I mean, besides impressing your dog by calculating the hypotenuse of a chew toy. Yeah, I thought so. Now when's the last time you had to manage your money, budget for groceries, or maybe negotiate a car loan? See, we all know the answer to that one. It's like, every single day, right? We're talking about something today that I know I've complained about, and I'm betting you have too. Why is it that schools focus so much on algebra, history, and all that good stuff, but never seem to teach us the real-life skills we actually need to survive as adults? This isn't just me venting about my traumatic experience with long division, by the way. I've run businesses, handled my own finances, and built side hustles from scratch. And I can tell you right now, the school system failed a lot of us when it comes to preparing for real life. Let's dive right into the essential skills that I'm convinced should be taught in every high school. Skills that would actually equip us for the real world. First up, how to do your taxes. Seriously, why is this not a required course? I still remember Googling what is a W-4 at my first job, utterly clueless. And speaking of being clueless, let's talk about budgeting and managing a paycheck. Most people graduate high school with zero clue how to split rent, utilities, savings, and still have money left over for, gas and maybe a pizza night. It's like we're thrown into the financial deep end without even a life preserver. Then there's the ever-important credit score. Did anyone ever tell us how one missed payment can haunt you for years? How those three little digits can affect your ability to rent an apartment, buy a car, or even get a loan? It's like this mysterious force controlling our lives. And we're just supposed to magically understand it. Finally, let's talk about negotiation skills. Whether you're negotiating your salary, haggling for a better deal on a car, or even just trying to get your roommate to do their dishes, this is real-life math in action. These aren't just random skills, people. These are the actual building blocks of adulthood. We're not done yet. Let's move on to some more practical life skills, shall we? Basic home repairs, anyone? I mean, changing air filters, resetting a breaker, maybe even unclogging a sink. Why was this not taught? It's not like these things require a PhD in engineering. And while we're on the subject of practical knowledge, let's talk about cooking basic meals. Adulting gets really expensive, really fast, when you can't even boil water without setting off the smoke alarm. Emergency planning is another big one. From car insurance to medical deductibles, life comes at you fast, and it rarely gives you a heads up. Knowing how to handle these situations is crucial. Look, these aren't just random skills that some people pick up and others don't. These are essential life skills that everyone needs to know to navigate adulthood successfully. Imagine if our education system actually prepared us for the real world. Imagine graduating high school not just with a diploma, but with a solid understanding of personal finance, practical life skills, and the confidence to tackle whatever life throws your way. That's the kind of education we all deserve. It's time to stop prioritizing abstract concepts that we may never use and start equipping students with the tools they need to thrive in the real world. Now let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Remember all those hours we spent in high school cramming our brains with information that, let's be honest, most of us have never used since? Like, when have you ever had to whip out the quadratic equation in real life? And don't even get me started on memorizing historical dates and the names of every single pharaoh who ever ruled ancient Egypt. It's not that this information is completely useless, it has its place, sure. But when reality hits, when you're staring at a pile of bills trying to figure out how to make rent, none of those subjects help me figure out how to fight a medical bill, negotiate rent with a landlord, or for that matter, start a business. Look, it's not that algebra, history, or biology are inherently bad or useless. They have their place, and a well-rounded education is important. But when it comes to preparing us for the realities of adult life, the school system often misses the mark. We spent countless hours dissecting classic literature, analyzing Shakespearean sonnets, and writing essays about symbolism and metaphors. And while I appreciate a good metaphor as much as the next guy, I can't help but wonder if maybe, just maybe, our time could have been better spent learning about things like budgeting, investing, or even how to change a tire. Think about it. We were handed these complex works of literature, expected to understand the nuances of human nature and the complexities of the human condition. Yet we weren't given the tools to navigate the complexities of our own lives. We were taught about the French Revolution but not about the importance of a good credit score. We were graded on our ability to write a 5-paragraph essay, but not on our ability to write a professional email or craft a compelling resume. It's a curriculum mismatch of epic proportions. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room: debt. Specifically, the kind of debt that piles up when you don't even know the rules of the game. Because nobody taught you about APRs, credit card interest rates, or how predatory lending works. I'm talking about young adults graduating with mountains of student loan debt, then racking up credit card bills just to stay afloat. They're stuck in a cycle of minimum payments, feeling like they'll never escape. This isn't about being bad with money, it's about starting the race miles behind everyone else. And the thing is, it's not just about the numbers. It's about the stress, the anxiety, the feeling of being crushed under the weight of financial decisions you didn't even know how to make in the first place. It impacts relationships, mental health, and the ability to pursue dreams. This is the real-world cost of neglecting life skills education. It's not just about dollars and cents, it's about human potential being stifled by a system that prioritizes abstract knowledge over practical skills. Ever feel stuck? Like you're on autopilot, working a job you don't love just to pay bills you don't know how to manage? That feeling of being trapped is often a direct result of missing life skills. See, when you don't understand your own value in the job market, when you've never learned to negotiate your salary or advocate for yourself, you're more likely to settle for less. Less pay, less fulfilling work, less control over your own future. And it's not just about income, it's about opportunity cost. Every year spent in a dead-end job is a year you're not pursuing your passions, starting that side hustle, or building a career that truly excites you. This is about more than just earning a paycheck. It's about having the skills and confidence to design a life you're genuinely passionate about. And that starts with equipping young people with the tools to navigate the real world, not just the textbook world. Here's the thing about this lack of life skills education. It's not just an individual problem, it's a societal one. The consequences ripple outwards, impacting families, communities, and even the economy as a whole. Think about it. When a significant portion of the population lacks basic financial literacy, it contributes to economic instability. When people don't understand how to manage money, save for the future, or invest wisely, it weakens the overall financial well-being of our society. And it doesn't stop there. The stress of financial insecurity spills over into mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. It creates a climate of anxiety and uncertainty that permeates every aspect of life. We're talking about a generation set up for struggle, not success. And the worst part? It's entirely preventable. By empowering young people with the skills they need to thrive, we're not just investing in their future, we're investing in a stronger, healthier, and more prosperous future for everyone. Alright, story time. Flashback to me, fresh out of school, feeling entrepreneurial and ready to conquer the world. I had this big idea for a business, passion to burn, and absolutely zero clue what I was doing. I dove headfirst into building my website, designing products, the whole 9 yards. I was pumped when I made my first sale, then completely blindsided by the tax implications. See, nobody told me that profit wasn't just the money left over after expenses. Turns out, there's this whole other side to running a business. The side with forms, deductions, quarterly taxes, and things like self-employment tax that I'd never even heard of. Let me tell you, the learning curve was steep. And it wasn't just taxes. Hiring my first employee felt like navigating a minefield of paperwork, payroll deductions, and legal requirements. I quickly realized that school had prepared me for a lot of things, but running a business in the real world wasn't one of them. I remember the first time I got a real paycheck as a self-employed person. I was ecstatic. Finally, all my hard work was paying off. Then I looked closer at the numbers. Where was the rest of my money? Turns out, when you're self-employed, You're responsible for paying both the employee and employer portions of taxes. Nobody had ever mentioned that little detail. Suddenly that exciting paycheck felt a lot smaller, and don't even get me started on health insurance. Gone were the days of being covered under my parents' plan. I had to figure out the world of deductibles, premiums, and navigating the healthcare system, all while trying to build a business and manage my newfound financial responsibilities. It was overwhelming, to say the least. Looking back, it's almost comical how unprepared I was for the realities of adulting, let alone running a business. But here's the thing, my story isn't unique. It's the story of countless young people thrown into the deep end of adulthood without the basic life rafts of practical knowledge. We're left to figure it out on our own through trial and error, often with significant financial and emotional consequences. That's why I'm so passionate about this. It's not about bashing traditional education. It's about acknowledging the gap between what's taught in school and what's needed to thrive in the real world. It's about empowering the next generation with the tools they need to navigate adulthood confidently, from managing their finances to understanding their rights as employees and consumers. Okay, so we've established that schools aren't exactly preparing us for the real world in the ways that matter most. But what does a more holistic, practical education actually look like? It's not just about knowing how to balance a checkbook, though that's a good start. It's about equipping young adults with a comprehensive set of skills that will serve them throughout their lives. First and foremost, we're talking about basic financial literacy. And I don't just mean knowing how to deposit a check. We're talking budgeting, understanding taxes, building credit responsibly, and even grasping the fundamentals of investing. These are the financial tools that can make or break someone's future. Beyond personal finance, let's talk career readiness. We need to be teaching students how to craft a compelling resume, how to nail a job interview, and even how to explore alternative paths like freelancing or entrepreneurship. The world of work is changing rapidly and our education system needs to keep up. And hey, let's not forget about the everyday adulting skills that nobody ever explicitly teaches us. I'm talking about understanding things like insurance, health, car, renters, the whole shebang. We're talking about navigating contracts and leases, because let's be real, those things can be scarier than Shakespeare. And while we're at it, can we please normalize teaching basic home maintenance and cooking skills? Knowing how to change a tire, reset a breaker, or whip up a simple, nutritious meal shouldn't be revolutionary skills, but they can be absolute game changers in terms of independence and self-sufficiency. But it's not just about practical skills, folks. It's also about equipping young people with the tools to navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life. We need to be talking about mental health, stress management, healthy coping mechanisms, building resilience. Because let's face it, the real world can be a tough place. Now, before anyone accuses me of wanting to abolish algebra or ban books, let me be clear. This isn't about replacing existing subjects with life skills. It's about recognizing that education should be about more than just memorizing facts and formulas. It's about preparing young people to thrive in all aspects of their lives. Imagine a world where high school graduates enter adulthood armed not just with diplomas, but with the confidence and competence to manage their finances, navigate their careers, and take care of their well-being. That's the kind of future we should be striving for. It's about time we stop throwing young people into the deep end of adulthood without equipping them with the essential life rafts they need to stay afloat. Let's give them the tools, the knowledge, and the support to not just survive, but truly thrive. Alright, so maybe you're watching this thinking, well, that's all well and good, Truett, but I'm already knee-deep in student loan debt and haven't the faintest clue how to file my taxes. And listen, I get it. The system may have failed us, but that doesn't mean we're powerless. The beautiful thing about the age we live in is that we have an unprecedented amount of information at our fingertips. Want to learn about budgeting? There's a YouTube channel for that. Credit repair, podcast, investing basics, countless free resources online. Take control of your own education, my friends. And hey, don't be afraid to ask questions. Seriously, it's one of the most powerful tools we have. Whether it's a trusted friend, a family member, or even a financial advisor, there's no shame in admitting you don't know something. In fact, recognizing your knowledge gaps is the first step to filling them. And here's a radical thought: once you've learned something valuable, pay it forward. Got younger siblings? Share your newfound financial wisdom. Starting a family? Make sure your kids learn about compound interest before they learn about the Pythagorean theorem. We can be the generation that breaks the cycle of financial illiteracy and unpreparedness. It starts with each of us taking responsibility for our own education and then extending that knowledge outward. And if you're a parent, a teacher, or just someone who cares about the future, let's push for change at a systemic level. Talk to your local school board about incorporating life skills into the curriculum. Advocate for financial literacy programs. Let's make some noise, people. Look, I'm not gonna lie, changing an entire education system is a daunting task. But remember, even the most complex equations are solved one step at a time. And this journey starts with each of us. By taking control of our own education, asking questions, and sharing our knowledge, we can create a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves. We can empower ourselves and future generations to navigate the complexities of adulthood with confidence and resilience. It's time to rewrite the rules of the game, folks. Let's make education about more than just tests and textbooks. Let's make it about preparing for real life. If this video resonated with you, even a little bit, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos about the real-life stuff they should have taught us in school. And hey, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. This is Common Sense USA, where we break down the real-life lessons schools forgot to teach us. See you in the next one.